relaxed and to be able to let go.
So this energy body, so I'm taking the energy out of my physical body, and you said, quote unquote, transferring it to an energy body.
That's a good question. We are multidimensional beings. We are a microcosm of the universe, and we already have multiple energy bodies. The concept of body, mind, spirit is actually a very simplistic view of the universe. I have found from 40 years of my own experiences that we are already on every level of the universe. We already exist there in these multiple energy bodies. And what we're actually doing is transferring a portion of our consciousness from our, let's just say, physical, into this, let's call it more subtle energy body.
Okay.
And we have this ability to do this and control it. Because think about it, if we are, let's just say, soul or consciousness, we are already projecting our consciousness right now into the physical body. We are actually existing on multiple energy dimensions of the universe. All of us are. Whether it doesn't matter what labels we give it, but let's just call it soul. If you exist as a soul, whatever your reference point is for that, then you already are there right now. We are already existing on soul level. We already are existing on the mental level or dimension. We're already existing on the emotional level. All of these are energy bodies that are within us already. And the power of out-of-body exploration is that ability to begin to shift our awareness from one energy body to another energy body and to be able to use it effectively.
Okay, I think I'm with you. This is exciting. So normally a lot of my awareness is in my physical body.
Yes.
And what you're saying is that through techniques and practice, a large portion of my energy could be in this subtle body.
Yes. Exactly.
And what would be the benefits of me experiencing more time in the subtle body?
Answers to the questions of life. As we move inward, one of the powerful things I found is that we have the capability to obtain the big questions, the answers to the really important, like, what are we? Where did we come from? Where are we going? What is our purpose? These questions are available as you move inward. You begin to connect with the more expansive part of ourselves. And this is where the answers are found, because this is where we truly reside as pure consciousness. This is where we're far more expansive than in the physical body. It's almost like a vast dimension of consciousness has been focused for each of us into a tiny vehicle we call our physical body.
Yeah.
And as we leave our physical bodies and begin to explore, we're exploring ourselves. We are actually exploring the higher dimensional realities within ourselves. And we're in touch with this higher portion of ourselves. So we can obtain answers that way. Also, one of the great benefits is the fear of death is of course, has disappeared in all people that I've ever met that have had out-of-body experiences. There's no fear of death.
So you have no fear of death?
No, because I know it's a facade. I know I don't die. I know for a fact, because I've been out of my body thousands of times. I know this is just a vehicle of consciousness. I also know I'm not a humanoid form, that as I hold my awareness beyond my body, my energy body will lose its physical attributes, and I'll become almost like a globe of consciousness with 360-degree awareness. That's more our natural state. The physical body is actually a very alien state of consciousness, a very alien vehicle that we're only here a very short period of time exploring. So I look at the world kind of the reverse of many people do. This is the exploration in the body, because this is not our home. You know, no matter what you believe or don't believe, we're all on this inward journey beyond our bodies. It doesn't matter what belief system you adopt. We're all leaving our bodies. We're all going to step beyond this facade. So wouldn't it make sense for all of us to know what this process is, since this is the journey, the universal journey of all of us?
So what's it like for you when you're fully disconnected from the physical body and you're in the energy body. What is that experience like?
Freedom. Unbelievable freedom. There's no limitations. It's that's what's so wonderful about it. You no longer have any form-based limitations unless you so believe you do. So you could fly, you can walk through walls, you can stand in the corner and just raise your vibration rate and explore anywhere you wish to go. Matter of fact, this is what I teach in my workshops. Having an out-of-body experience is just the first little step. The big exploration is in how to use this knowledge, how to take this experience and turn it into something unbelievably powerful for yourself. How you become an explorer of consciousness. You become an explorer of all the inner aspects of yourself. You can demand to experience your spiritual essence or soul or whatever term you wish to use during an out-of-body experience. You can actually contact and communicate with dead loved ones. I've done this on several occasions, and I have an entire chapter in one of my books devoted to this.
Okay, well, let's talk about that for a moment. So you're in the energy body, and you're connecting with a deceased loved one. What are you connecting with?
You're connecting with them as they perceive themselves after death. And what I found interesting, I've met my uncle and my mother, and what I found especially interesting was the fact that every time I've met somebody who has died, they're always in the prime of life. My uncle, for instance, when he died, he was very overweight. And when I met him during an out-of-body experience, he was about 22, 23 years old. And the same applies to my mother. And I found during my explorations and during my survey of over 16,000 people, I've received a lot of feedback from others. And this is universal. People will experience loved ones who have died as being in the prime of their life, living in this other energy dimension, in a consensus reality that they've adapted to. Because the afterlife is essentially a series of consensus realities created by the thoughts of the group consciousness. So like attracts like. For instance, if right-wing Christians would be in a collective of their own making, where Buddhists might be in another collective of their making, because they resonate by thought. Everything is by thought. Creation is by thought. The afterlife, as we know it, is created by the thoughts of the inhabitants. And there's millions and millions of these realities. Each one is created by the group consciousness. But all of these are available for us to explore on our own, face to face, in full consciousness. So we have the ability to verify this information. And that's what makes this so exciting. There's no belief system attached to out-of-body exploration. There's no philosophies. There's no rules. It's just do it. Have the experience, and then you determine your own personal viewpoint of what you experienced.
Okay, so I think I lost you a little bit when we were talking about meeting deceased loved ones, and I asked, who are they? What is that energy that you're meeting? And you said it's their view, the thought they have about themselves.
Oh, it's their self-identity, of course. They have assumed the self-identity that they, for instance, one of the things I found that during the transition we call death, people will assume the self-identity that they have of themselves. In other words, before an incarnation, my mother will still continue to be Laura, my mother. She'll just be a younger version of that. After that incarnation, when she decides to make her next incarnation, she will take the form of a new personality, and it could be a new sex, could be a new culture, it doesn't matter. And then she'll adapt to that, and she'll conform to that. Her energy body will mold, actually, to that new personality. My view of her would, of course, change. But for now, when I met my mother, she was still in that mode of her last, let's just say, experience in matter.
Okay, so each one of us can have out-of-body experiences and see what we see, discover what we see, know for ourselves. What is it that gives you confidence that the experiences you've had are giving you answers that are quote unquote correct about the world. I mean, you said I can do these things and I get answers. I believe you get answers. But how do we know that these answers have any kind of validity beyond your subjective experience?
Excellent question. Because I have the absolute ability to repeat the question over and over again and actually confirm it for myself.